Hey guys, so a quick thing before this video starts. I just want to say that I am not the best at hands. I must admit that they are something I struggle with the most. This video was just to basically take you through my processes, the steps that I take to draw hands, and try to pass that knowledge in case it helps any of you guys out there. So with step 1, like with any other part of the body, I always use references. Here is the references that I'll be using for today's studies. All of these hands I'm going to try and lay out in the same style and way as well. But reference is definitely one of the most important things that I use to draw anything. Having a visual aid to kind of make sure that my anatomy is correct and everything along those lines is as flawless as can be, just for the initial stage as well. I also like to block in with boxes and shapes as well, the basic hand structures, or basic structures in any of my drawings. I don't like to get too detailed with the lines. I like just to lay out a block area of where I expect the drawing to fill. I also like to keep my drawings fairly simple. I don't like to go too detailed with the line work. I like to just basically lay out where things are going to be. And the final thing I kind of like to do is I like to keep my lines very rough, very sketchy, and not very defined at all, so that there's room for tweaking and improvements. If I don't believe something fits well, I can easily move and change it without having to then reapply loads of changes to the initial drawing. It's kind of the basic stage. This is where I just want to get all the basic shapes and sizes out first to estimate where a hand will be and what it should look like. So right now I'm going to show you a time-lapse video of me doing all of the hands from that reference sheet that I've just showed, and then I will be back to introduce you on what I like to do for step 2. So part 2 is where I'll get my artwork and I will want to refine the lines ready for colouring in the final step. So how I do this is I take the artwork and kind of erase lines and build them back up to suit the specific path. It's quite difficult to explain how I do this, but I erase and kind of build up so I have this definite line work. But this is also where I like to add all my details, so this is where I'll get my smaller brush and I'll add all like the crevices in their fingers, the thumbnails, fingernails, wrinkles, dimples, moles, stuff like that. This is kind of where I add them details. So this is the final step. This is where I add colour, finalise my lines and add final details. So I do add colour a bit differently to how most. I use light value, but I'll get into a completely different video about that on how I like to colour my drawings. But this is where I also like to finalise my line work, so this is where I'll start to blend the colour into the line work to make it less cartoony and more realistic. And this is where I also like to add my final details, such as the shines of the fingernails, shadows, light sources, kind of the stuff like that. So this is the end result of my work, and I must admit, I will be honest with you, there are things that I notice now that I need to do differently. Some shadows aren't harsh enough, some stuff needs to be blended, and some of the skin tones don't really match. But I did work on this for a full day, and I think kind of towards the end my eyes weren't as keen to find the mistakes as they were when I first started the painting. But I hope this kind of helped you in a way, guys, me taking you through my process on how I'd like to kind of improve on hands, because as I said, I do struggle with them still, especially with full figure illustrations. But I am trying to learn, I'm trying to get better, and this is kind of my steps towards it. I probably will be doing other tutorials, or maybe not, I won't really class this as a tutorial, but I will be doing other videos on how I draw things in the future, as well as time lapses, probably some challenges. I've got quite a lot of stuff planned for my channel, hopefully that you guys will find entertaining and hopefully helpful as well. But thank you for watching if you've made it this far, and once again I hope this has helped you, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, bye bye for now.